Welcome to the transmissions from the heart of the Hive. I am Kat, and I have my dear sister Sabrina with me today for another powerful conversation about what's alive in our golden hive, what's moving through us, through the field, and some potent bee magic that Sabrina will share with us today. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, I invite you to get grounded. If you are unable to sit down and properly ground yourself, just take a couple of deep breaths together with us so that we can come into the same field, into the shared space together, and we can receive and be as if we are in the same room together, because ultimately space time is just an illusion. And our prayer is that you really feel our energy. You feel part of the hive. You feel like you already belong. So I invite you to close your eyes if you're able to. Please don't do so if you are driving or operating heavy machinery like a hair dryer or, or cooking. Just feel your feet under your body, the heaviness of your body. Feel the root, if you're sitting down, the root chakra that is at your tailbone. Feel the heaviness of your thighs, of your buttocks, just really grounding into the earth. Feel your shoulders begin to relax, your jaw beginning to soften. A little more ease and a little more peace emerging within. Feeling your feet growing tentacles of light connecting to the earth's energy field. Feeling your heart begin to open as you take a couple of deep breaths with us. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Exhaling deeply in and out. In and a long audible exhale. Feeling like we've arrived here together, opening this space together, this golden hive. Welcome, Sabrina. It's so good to see you, dear sister.
Thank you. It's so great to be here to see you as well. Thank you for that beautiful opening and grounding. Oh, I love that. Brought me right into my heart space. I've got my beautiful amber with me that you gifted me. I love this. Thank you. Yes, today we are here to speak about the bees, but also to listen very deeply. The bees would like to share with us a little bit more about how they listen deeply. And they really, really listen through so many different ways. They listen through their body, they listen through their energy. So it's energetic, it's physical. They feel vibration through the hairs on their bodies. And we get to do the same thing. We don't just listen with our ears. We get to be invited to go way deeper than that. And we hear so many sounds in our environments physically that sometimes it can take a little extra intention and awareness to really go more deeply into the listening, to be able to access, I call it like the spaces in between. Um, you might call it the void. There's different names, for that space, but really just tuning in deeply to more than just the voice that you're hearing, right? And the audible sounds. What do they feel like in your body? What do they mean more deeply? What is the energy that is transferring from that? And so that is really the beautiful invitation from the bees this week and what's been coming through. And a really beautiful transmission came through. I would like to share that next, and then we can kind of discuss it a little bit more deeply. So what came through was, I'm going to read it from my notes since I don't have it typed yet. It's fresh off the press here. Okay, the universe is like one big echo chamber, a field of resonance pulsing in its aliveness. As you impress upon it, it responds accordingly. The air of your breath ripples into space. Your voice emanates sound as truth projects into place. There's a natural reaction to each and every action. A pro, a con, a neutron, a proton. All around us, the impressions persist. This is not something that can be easily dismissed. What are you projecting into the greater field? What are you expecting the results to yield? For in resonance, our actions begin to build as coherent realities and thought forms we get to wield. Tone your truth as you express authentically. Listen for feedback carefully. You shall then hear the song respectively as it echoes into eternity. A song forever recorded in all of history, unique to your expression in totality. For you have remembered, even if only momentarily, that this is your calling, your true destiny. What is it you'd like to impress with curiosity? And will you do it genuinely? For the universe is generous in its reciprocity. It does not distinguish anything unfairly. Through give and take, make no mistake, the system compounds for creation's sake. You may not always get what you think you want, and you'll always get all that you need. This, we can assure you, happens naturally. Stay in your heart and let love's intentions lead, and you shall be rewarded endlessly. So I thought that was really beautiful. Not only does it talk about the importance of the word and how we use that in creation, but it also talked about the listening, the deep listening. And when we listen to other people's words and when we receive those and how that affects our field, our consciousness, our awareness, and our physical being as well. So it really is this energetic exchange, this dance, this co-creative process between the listening and the speaking and the receiving and the giving and, all of that. So, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. As always, just pure magic coming from the bee transmissions. And immediately as you started speaking, what I was seeing is how most of us go through this reality. It's that piece of paper with a tiny pinhole in it, and we're looking and listening through this pinhole and rushing through the day, autopilot, all the things, right? And if we remove this sheet of paper, our awareness expands to the full capacity of seeing all that is around us, not just seeing it, but feeling it, sensing it, reading the field with our, like the tentacles of light that are running through us, remembering that the same matter that we are made of is all around us, that this is all of life moving the currents. And I think the bees follow those currents. They don't fight them, right? Like that's what makes that synergy of a hive work is they flow with life and they have expanded awareness of the whole because they communicate with each other and share intelligence and see each other as reflections of the whole, the parts of ourselves that we might be blind to see. So that expanded awareness is, it takes work though, right? Like to live in that state takes work. It takes being present, slowing down. I noticed this morning I was brushing my hair and I was like, wow, I'm really ripping through my hair. Why? Why am I rushing? If only I just go slower, I wouldn't rip this whole knot out. I might with ease undo it. You know, it's all of life is universe, everything around us is conspiring for us to do well, to receive, to live in abundance, to receive all the love that we desire. And here we are with the pinhole rushing. The bees are so intelligent. The bees are the physical manifestation of that 5D new earth, whatever you want to call it, embodiment here. Every day I'm reminded that that's why they're coming back into our awareness so strongly, right?
That's exactly right. And I love that you went there because this is exactly what has been so present too for all of us is the importance of the nervous system. And so I know that you've spoke to that a lot, and I would love to hear what else has been coming through for you in regards to the nervous system, because yeah, as you've said, it's so important. And I catch myself doing the same thing. I love that you shared that story about the way you were brushing your hair, because yeah, it's easy to be like, oh, we've got to hurry up and do and do, and the bees just always want to remind us that. Yes, there is sacred urgency, right? They move quickly, they fly, they take care of business, right? They buzz around. And they do it though with full awareness of what their intention is. And they're in this frequency where they're able to maintain, and perform at their peak. And I do believe it's because they have mastered this being in this frequency, right? So, yeah, how can we individually, collectively, and regularly, consistently service our nervous system and really protect it in a way that is nourishing and supportive, and because it's so important for everything that we are. So I'll let you speak to that, please.
You know, it's interesting that you brought this through and brought this in because yes, there's the element of the nervous system, and I speak to the fact that it catches everything. So if we think of the nervous system as the honeycomb that runs through everything, every thought, every emotion, every external download, external, right? Download that we receive, all the energy, all the look someone gave us that our body responded in a certain way, everything moves through the nervous system. And there's this huge focus on strengthening it or repairing it, regulating it, right? But what is it catching is the greater question. What is the noise that this nervous system catching? So there's the element of, yes, strengthening that, but also designing your inner and outer life with that awareness of how your inner world operates and what thoughts are running it, because your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions create your reality. If we think about it in very linear terms of how this reality comes to be, right? So what is the noise? What is the noise that's creating the reality? And what is the noise that your nervous system is having to catch? And I think, again, it goes back to the bee saying, listen, listen to the outside world and the reciprocity with which all of life is moving, that figure eight moving from your heart out into the world and back at you. But also listen to your inner world, because your nervous system is trying to upgrade to the higher frequencies of being, higher bandwidth of frequency. Again, call it 5D, new earth, with just a higher vibrational living space. But it can't, because it can't permanently shift there, right? Because of the noise and everything that is being caught in that honeycomb. It's not pure honey. It can become pure honey by the function of you alchemizing it and transforming it. I'm sure the bees are going to have another lesson on that this week.
That's right. They keep surprising me with what they're bringing through. That's for sure. Oh my goodness. I love that. That's right. That's so true. I agree with everything that you just brought through. And it really is in the way that we choose to interact and respond as well. Um, and when we're listening. And I wanted to share a little bit of something that I shared in the gathering, one of our recent gatherings, and it was
Which, by
really
the way, they happen on Wednesdays. They're free, so come join us.
yes, yes, we'd love to have you join us.
Sorry for
Um,
interrupting.
oh no, that's beautiful. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, so basically, what we shared about this, and I shared a little bit earlier, but this is a little bit nicer the way it's written. But she feels the trembling of the flower before she sees it. She senses the vibration of her sisters through the wax walls of the hive. She reads the language of pollen in the air, the direction of sunlight on her wings, and the faint electric whisper that flowers release when nectar is ready. To the bee, the world is not silent. It is humming with information. Every movement carries a message. Every vibration carries guidance. And so the bees do not rush or force. They attune. She becomes sensitive to the field around her. When one bee returns from a fruitful meadow, she dances. But the dance is not merely seen, it is felt. The hive listens through the floor, through the air, through the shared body of the colony itself. Thousands of bees receive the message at once, not through debate, but through resonance. The ones who feel the truth of the signal respond, and together the hive moves towards sweetness. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And when you can really just sit and imagine yourself feeling that way as if you were the bee, as if you are, because in a way we are, just like the bees.
With that last sentence, I was seeing the bee like touch the water and a
Mhm.
ripple just go out, go
Yeah,
out of the hive. Yeah,
that's
all through
beautiful.
all through the hive. And I was also hearing clear the noise within so that you can smell the flowers without. So it's
Yeah,
like, because all of us want to be able to literally be magnetized by the flower, and the we can almost taste the nectar that will be produced, right?
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like, what is the noise? What is the noise that the human has to sit with and move
yeah,
beyond? so
Yeah.
that they can so that they can become the embodiment of that
Yeah.
mindful and sweet and also strong and resilient bee that is coming back and making honey with the rest of the sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that so much. And another thing that is coming through that they want to me to talk about is plasma, and that's a whole nother topic we get into on another episode. But really, that it's all vibrational, right? So when we're talking about these different dimensional frequencies that we can at any point be resonating in or with or embodying in that time, that is also going to kind of dictate or have a major impact on how and what we are tuning into, what we are receiving, what we are hearing as far as information and ideas and all of that. So that's really interesting.
I love it. And it's all connected again to the level of awareness because it is
Yeah,
only ever the amount of awareness that you have, right?
yeah,
That you're able to hold back to the pinhole. I can almost
yeah.
see the flower through the pinhole, but that's about it, right? Or I
Yeah,
can almost picture an idea of what I want to create or whatever it is. And as you
yeah.
rise higher, it's like more is, and not higher in a way that's higher better, but
Right.
in the clearest signal space, then
Yes.
you are able to hear, you are able to perceive, you are able to,
Yes.
yeah,
It's
to,
less dense. It's like
it's less
less density.
dense.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
In physical terms, that's literally it. It's less dense. And that's the place we want to play and co-create within
Yes.
because we've tried it the other way, right? We've done it. We've done it many, many times before, many lifetimes. And
Yeah.
it's time for that, um, for that other room space where we get um, to co-create and weave together.
That's right. And
And
in the golden hive, we know, and in life, wisdom doesn't come from just one bee alone. It really emerges through the shared listening of the whole. And what else was coming through is that I do find that through sharing messages that I receive, a whole lot of other people are reflecting back to me. They're receiving the same sort of information. It may just be coming through in different words, different expressions, obviously, since we're all so uniquely unique. um, but that's really, really, really powerful and really beautiful. So again, when we get together and we create, and we get together and we listen, and we get together and we express, and we get together and we sing collectively, it's so much more powerful. Oh, I just get the angel bumps all the time. But I'm constantly being reminded of that. And so that's how and why we brought this golden hive space together for all of us so that we are able to be in that together and experience that
and keep reminding
collectively.
each other that that's what we came here for because it's so easy to be pulled into whether it's running a business or your life in general.
Yep.
We are reminding each other of that magic and of um the bees are reminding us every day with all the shares of the bee sightings and the fun
Yeah.
things that we that that
I
everyone
know.
is beginning to experience.
I've been
And
absolutely loving all the shares. It's beautiful.
yeah, and I was telling Sabrina how before we started recording how it feels like a really fun and magical, never-ending like networking event between all these bees that come from their own meadows that they tend to, right? And and we get to reconnect with the soul family, the soul sisters, and be inspired by others and grow together and expand and create and all the things.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just got back from Mexico yesterday.
Yeah.
I was at Chichen Itza for spring equinox, and it's so interesting how you were saying that others are receiving same messages but in different frequencies and the different. I receive a lot of information that is the the solar logos, the architect of the reality and the structure and the net and the grid and how this reality is constructed. And on the other hand is the myth of being alive and the stories that we are weaving here and the archetypes we inhabit. And while there, I was being reminded that when we look at these ancient structures, we might think of, they had this serpent there, Kukulkan, right? The plume serpent, the feathered serpent, and they were revering this being, just as we're talking about the bees and placing a an importance on this archetype, right? But if you go back further in the Chichen Itza, the whole site, you find older structures where the serpent is not prominent, where it's the scales of the serpent that are, or the design of his skin that is on the walls that looks like a grid. And when I was standing there, what I was hearing is the ancient Maya, before they went and started with the serpent, the they remembered the structure of the reality, which is this grid, which is how the elements are part of it and how the life currents move through all of it, right? So with bees, a lot of you are probably being called by the bees, seeing it or seeing a book or the card or a hat with it. And it's the invitation is to look at it um, from the structure that the bees represent, right? The community, the qualities of working together, all the things, right? And the example of the template that they're here to give us. And then there is the myth without the strong identification, right? Because the mind wants to identify with it. But without identification, seeing the myth of the bees, which we haven't even touched on this, right? The oracle priestesses and the the magical substance that honey is, and the oracular power of the womb that is connected to the bees and the great mother and all of this, right? So that's the other aspect. All of this is to say that this is the other aspect of the Hive community that I'm really loving, that we get to remember this together and to weave our versions of these myths in modern day, modern terms, right? Without having to default to the way that it was done before, but really for ourselves as mothers, as women entrepreneurs, as caregivers, as whatever, looking at how the bees are doing it in structure, in myth, in in the reality of what they are bringing through you and others. And yeah, they are, after all, pollinators of this garden, as are we. They are weavers of life. There'd be no apples without the bees and other pollinators. There'd be no oranges. It's like,
The fruits of our labors, I'm hearing. Isn't it so beautiful? And the way that we are now writing our stories that will be read by others and made into myth and metaphor as well. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's just like this never-ending story
It
that,
literally is the never-ending story.
yeah, one of my
And
favorite
and
movies.
yeah, like you said, I before we even started this, it's the living mythos
Yeah.
of it's the bees, but beyond the bees, it's the great mother and the divine feminine in general, the essence, all that she is.
Hmm.
There's no name. We can call her Sophia, but it's like it's bigger,
Yeah.
it's even
Or
bigger than that,
Ma.
right? It's a
Yeah,
force.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You can call
The
it
great mother, the womb, the hive, all of
the
it.
yeah, and we say the cosmic hive because that's what that cosmic womb looks and feels like to us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because we
yeah.
have that lens of this myth that we're playing within, that we love inhabiting this myth, and we're choosing it consciously, and we're inviting you to come play with us if this resonates, because
Yes.
it's honey for the soul. That's what I'm hearing. It's honey for the soul.
Yeah. Right. It really is. It's bee medicine of all sorts. It's nectar, it's sweetness, it's honey, it's propolis and
Pollen,
all the
all of
stuff,
that, all of
all
it.
the things. The royal jelly too.
The royal jelly.
So yeah, so we are having so much fun and I'm very just so grateful and excited to explore all the wonderful things because it truly is a never-ending playground of possibility that we get to pollinate together. So that's super, super exciting. I do have, if we have time, one more little transmission that I would like to share
Yes,
from
please.
the bees. It's a fun, playful one, and we'll close out with
Yes,
that.
please.
Hello, little bee. Can you hear me? I am listening deeply to thee. Can't you see? Oh, wait, we are hearing, not looking clearly. As we close our eyes and eliminate the view, our brain has less clutter to chew. For we want to know what the honeybees know. We want to learn to expand and to grow. In our present awareness, when we pay close attention, we shall remember and gain great retention. For information comes through in so many ways, through all of our senses, each moment, each day. So we shall ask you now, just how is it you'd like to play? Would you like to rest on a flower today? Or be super busy? Be how you may, as we like to say. And remember to listen as you be, deeply and daily, not just with your ears, but through your whole body. Feel the trembling of the tree. Sense the vibrations of everything. Read the language of pollen in the air and the way the winds carry you there. The world is humming with information for sure. You get to discern what may support you as you mature. In a tuned frequency, as we listen keenly, we begin to notice deep sensitivity and clarity. We then bring this information back into the hive, our shared field that's fully alive. We dance and share, we listen and perceive. We feel the truth of the medicine we receive. We do this together through full resonance. In response, we agree and enjoy the sweetness. Thank you, bees, for your dedication. Your efforts are so very appreciated. Your essence so loved and celebrated. Let's live in celebration together, fully liberated. And so it is. Thank you, bees. Thank you, everyone.
And so it is. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, the bees. Thank
Thank
you, thank you,
you.
thank you. And in the show notes, you can find our website. And on the website, there is a link to our WhatsApp group. If you feel this energy, if the bees are calling you, come join us. Come sit with us on on a Wednesday call again. They're free, and we come together and we buzz we buzz like the bees.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
And
you.
until next time.
Thank you for being a part
Yeah.
of this living hive.